Your phone knows you're about to break up with someone before you do. It knows you're depressed before you've admitted it to yourself. It knows you're about to quit your job. It knows you're lying to people about where you are. Not because it's listening, because it doesn't need to. What's actually happening inside your device right now is so far beyond what most people imagine, and once you understand the system, you will never look at your phone the same way again. Let's start with something that happened to a guy named Robert. Robert started seeing ads for divorce lawyers. He wasn't going through a divorce. He hadn't searched for anything related to divorce. He hadn't mentioned it to anyone. But his phone knew that he and his wife had stopped being in the same location at the same time of day. It knew his sleep patterns had changed. It knew his scrolling behavior had shifted. More late-night usage, longer pauses on certain content, different search categories than 6 months before. No single data point meant anything. Combined, the algorithm had built a profile of a man whose marriage was in trouble. The ads were right. He just didn't know it yet. Here's what's actually being collected. Not just your searches, not just your purchases. Where you physically go, tracked to within 3 meters, logged continuously, stored indefinitely. How fast you walk. Your gait is as unique as a fingerprint and measurable from the motion sensor alone. How long you stare at a specific post before scrolling, measured in milliseconds, logged every time. And then there's the one that most people don't know about. Ghost data. The messages you typed and deleted before sending. The searches you started and erased. The words you chose not to say. Several major platforms have confirmed they capture keystroke data in real time, including the keystrokes that never result in a sent message. You decided not to say it, they recorded it anyway. Now here's where it gets genuinely strange. Your phone doesn't need your microphone to know what you're talking about. You mention something to a friend in person. You never searched it, never typed it, never said it near your phone. And then the ad appears. It feels like your phone was listening. Here's the real explanation, and it's somehow more unsettling. Your phone knows who you spend time with. It tracks physical proximity through Bluetooth, Wi-Fi signals, and location overlap. When your profile and another person's profile intersect in real space and time, the system connects you. Their interests, their searches, their browsing history, they start bleeding into your ad profile. You didn't search for it, your friend did. The algorithm knew you were standing next to them and made the inference. You weren't being listened to, you were being calculated. Let's talk about what happens to this data after it leaves your phone. It doesn't stay in one app. It enters something called the data broker network. An invisible market where your behavioral profile is packaged and sold, sometimes to hundreds of companies simultaneously, without your knowledge, without your name, but with enough detail that identifying you is trivial. There are companies you've never heard of that have files on you with thousands of data points. Your political leanings, inferred from browsing patterns. Your estimated income, inferred from location and spending behavior. Your emotional stability, inferred from usage patterns and response times. One company called Axiom reportedly has profiles on over 700 million people. You are almost certainly in their database right now. You never signed up. You never agreed. You didn't have to. Here's the part that reframes everything. The free app you downloaded, it is not the product. You are. Your free weather app doesn't make money from telling you it's raining. It makes money by selling your precise GPS coordinates to third-party buyers, sometimes hundreds of companies, every single time you open it. A free flashlight app has no logical reason to need your location, your contacts, or your microphone. Many of the most downloaded ones from the early smartphone era requested all three. The flashlight was real. The business model was something else entirely. Every free app is a transaction. You just never saw the price tag. Now let's go one level deeper. Because this is where it stops being about ads and starts being about your actual life. Insurance companies are buying behavioral data to adjust your premiums before you've ever filed a claim. Lenders are using data profiles that have nothing to do with your credit score to decide whether to approve your loan. Employers are running AI screening tools that analyze years of your digital behavior before you've ever walked into an interview. You didn't apply to be scored. You've been scored continuously, without pause, without notification, without consent, since the moment you first turned on a smartphone. And those scores follow you into decisions that shape your real life, made by systems you'll never see, run by companies you've never heard of, based on data you didn't know you were giving. Your face is already in multiple private databases you never consented to. When a company called Clearview AI scraped billions of public photos from social media and built a facial recognition database without asking anyone, they didn't break the law in most places. Courts have since ruled differently in some countries, but the data still exists. Law enforcement agencies in dozens of countries have used it. Private companies have purchased access. A photo you posted years ago, meant for your friends, became a permanent data point in a system you've never interacted with. The post is gone. The data is not. Here's what this all means at a level most people never reach. This data doesn't just describe who you are right now, it predicts who you're about to become. When you start Googling things that suggest financial stress, certain search terms, certain time patterns, certain behavioral shifts, your credit profile can change before you've missed a single payment. When your location data shows you visiting certain places or stopping visiting others, systems infer things about your health, your relationships, your mental state. You didn't tell them any of this. Your patterns did. So what do you actually do? Adjusting app permissions helps. Disabling location tracking helps. Using browsers that don't log behavior helps. But opting out completely is nearly impossible. The infrastructure is too embedded, too invisible, too deeply integrated into every service most people use every day. What changes, at minimum, is this. The next time an ad feels impossibly accurate. The next time a recommendation feels like someone read your mind. The next time your phone seems to know something it shouldn't. It didn't guess. It calculated. From thousands of data points you handed over across years you can't reclaim. Into a version of you that exists in servers you'll never visit, more detailed and more permanent than anything you've written about yourself. Your phone doesn't know you. It knows something more useful than that. It knows exactly what you're going to do next.